Hi, everybody. It's TessaG here from whispersinthetrees.com. I'm here to talk to you today about using marijuana for pain management. I personally, as you probably know, have fibromyalgia. I have arthritis and osteoporosis, but honestly, it's the fibromyalgia that I largely use marijuana products for. So I'm going to jump right in so as not to keep you too long. I did see a really funny article the other day that I thought I'd share with you really quickly. Online, when you look up marijuana products, you'll see some interesting stuff that I don't use, but other people do with great success. And that includes Phoenix tears, which come in a little wee vial, and it also includes tinctures and oils. And so you'll see needles, or what looks like needles, but you notice there's nothing sharp on the end, pictured with some of those items. So some individuals thought that people were injecting some kind of a marijuana derivative into their veins, but no, that's not how it works. This is simply a plunger, or, it's like any medicine delivery device, and it's used along with your oils. So this is, this is from a company called Spectrum Cannabis. It used to be called Tweed, which is kind of funny. And the funniest part of this is that Tweed operates out of the old Hershey chocolate factory in Smiths Falls, Ontario. And ironically, I used to live there. So it was kind of funny that the pot producing company took up business in a chocolate factory. We thought that was kind of cool. Anyway, so this one that I showed you, it's called Yellow. There's no THC in it, or there's very, 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 very little. It is 20 milligrams of CBD. This is only CBD oil. I strongly recommend to anybody who's thinking about going with medical marijuana to treat their disorders that they start with CBD oil alone. It works quite well. 20 is high, so you're going to want to start low. It will not make you high. There are no euphoric, for lack of a better word, I don't know what to call it. There are no euphoric sensations that go along with using CBD oil. You get that from the THC component of pot and pot extractions, flower, whatever. And this one in particular is one of my favorites. This is my go-to. I take it in the morning and I take it at night. Oils are fantastic. I personally prefer the oils. Edibles are more expensive. The oil is nice because while it does take a while to kick in, you can take it morning, 4 o'clock and bedtime or something like that. And it helps to give you around the clock pain control. It has definitely reduced the number and the severity of my flare-ups. So that is my CBD oil, strictly CBD. I also have, let's see if I can find it. Yep. This is a CBD oil that's you can put in your vaporizer. This one you cannot, this one you can. This is unflavored, so I mix it half with something flavored that has a 0 nicotine in it, in a regular nicotine vaporizer. And you can use any, I could go into brands, but you could use anything that you can pour your own liquid into. So that's the vapable version, which will give you more immediate effects. This one is likely going to take about, honestly, 2 hours to kick in. The phrase that they use when you first start using medical marijuana products is start low and go slow. And I highly recommend following that, because you really do not want to take too much of this, or you're going to be feeling the effects for a very long time. Some people do get nauseous. Some people have other side effects with CBD oil. So do start low and go slow. And they say start with 1 milligram and move up from there until you feel you've reached a dose that's acceptable for you. And again, you can supplement that with the vape liquid. All right, getting into something that's a little more pain control. When you combine CBD oil with THC, you get what's called an entourage effect. So it's actually more effective when you use both together. I personally cannot stand the sensation that comes with a lot of the medical marijuanas that have THC in it. Not a huge fan of smoking it. However, vaping it is something that I do when things are absolutely severe. I can count on one hand how many times I've actually used my dry herb vape, because I really don't like the idea of smoking it at all, even though it's vape it's vaping. And for that, I personally like the packs, but there are newer, better models out there. I just liked this one because it's compact, it's easy to clean, it's you can fit it in your hand, it's easy to store. So I go with the pack. I have the PAX 3. I like the PAX 3, works for me, but I buy very low THC products because I really do not like the side effects. So if I want to use an oil, again, remember, it takes about 2 to 3 hours to kick in. So I don't like that. I really, really don't like that. So if I'm in pain now, I am going to go to something like this, and I'm going to put some dry herb in there. The herb that I have here, I have Brackley Beach Waves, and I've got, I think this is Bodie McBoatface, which Bodie McBoatface is one of my favorites. It's the one that works for me, and I won't go into different brands or different strains right now, but I personally, I like I don't like hybrids. I like the indicas. This is THC. This is 26% THC. Clearly, I do not use a full milligram of this. This stuff would knock me on my tail, and I only use it at nighttime. The blue is a hybrid, which leans more towards being not an indica, but the, oh dear Lord, what do they call it? Sativa. Sativas tend to make me really, 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 really jittery. And some people find that it's more of it gives them more of a wakeful sensation. For me, I really can't do this in the daytime and function. It just makes me so jittery and uncomfortable. Everyone is different. You might work well with sativas. You might work well with indicas. You might work well with a sativa during the daytime and indica at nighttime. Everyone's different, but you'll have to try it out to see what works for you. There's two websites I'm going to recommend to you. One of them is called Leafly, Leafly, and the other one is called Allbud, Allbud, and those will have all of the information. Let me tell you, all of the information on pretty much every strain that's out there, where you can get them, where you can buy them in your area, and various pros and cons of the different products, as well as reviews from people who actually use it. All right, so to get into the last little bit of my broadcast, if you're going to start using, you haven't used medical marijuana to help you with your pain control or other medical issues, you're going to want a tray of some kind, especially if you're using the dry herb, because herb typically comes in this form, okay? You need to grind it, and you need to fill your, whatever you're using. Like, I do have a pipe, but I tell you, I cannot use this. See how clean it is? It's brand new. I can't use it. It makes me cough too much. I'm not a smoker, so. But a pipe is cheap, and it's a good delivery method for those people who don't mind smoking it. You are also going to want a grinder of some kind. This one, oops, there's a little bit left in the top there. This one grinds it, and then down below, oopsie, is your herb, okay, the ground herb. And it's fairly chunky, which I kind of like. And if you wanted to, I've taken it off on this one. No, I haven't, it's right there. If you want, that has another stage that makes it super, super fine, more crystallized. In that one that I just showed you, I didn't actually use it to crystallize it. I actually took out one compartment because there's two different strains in there, one that's CBD dominant and one that has a little bit of THC in it, just to keep them separate. They also sell locking devices and locking bags. And if you go onto my website at whispersinthetrees.com and look up medical marijuana, you will see that I've posted all of that information on where, and in fact, if you go to my page that says my favorite must-have products, there's a locking bag there. It's smell-proof, and you can lock up your goods in there, because if you have children, let me tell you, you want to lock them up. A friend of mine's 11-year-old was smoking marijuana at a fair recently when they were out of town, and she caught him. So that's really scary. We still don't know who gave him the marijuana, but it's really scary to me that an 11-year-old would, and he's a good kid. He's into sports and everything else. So anyway, those are a few of the things. Also, you're going to need a bag of some kind. Again, my locking one is on its way. I keep them I keep it hidden. Kids don't know where it is. But I did have the conversation with my children about using marijuana for medical purposes, because I personally don't want to talk to them about recreational use much. I mean, we did discuss the fact that the law is coming into effect in Canada, allowing people to use it recreationally. And I did warn them about the difficulties that it can cause you, because it does make you jittery and it can exacerbate some conditions. It can also interfere with medication. So do check on that. Make sure with your doctor that you check in with your doctor and make sure that any medications that you're on are not going to interfere or exacerbate problems when you take any kind of medical marijuana product. In my bag, I have Visine, so that my eyes don't look too bloodshot or feel too dry, because they can dry out. And I also have, where did it go? I have a mouth spray. It has walked away on me. Anyway, there's a oral mouth spray that you can use that helps with the dryness in your mouth. And personally, I find that's really necessary, because it can actually wreck your teeth. You can end up with cavities from having a really dry mouth if you're using it all the time. So that's my quick rundown on using medical marijuana. You're going to have to play with strains and figure out what works for you. And it all depends on whether you're using it to treat pain, whether you want it to help enhance your appetite if you're a chemo patient, a cancer patient on drugs that inhibit your appetite, or other medications that have really inhibited your appetite and you're losing weight. It can also, some strains can also help with the nausea. Personally, the strains I use don't cause the munchies, as they call it, but if you go to Leafly and Allbud, there will be all kinds of information on there on what it's good for. Like, will this knock you out? Will this make you wakeful? Will this give you the munchies? Will this give you what they call couch lock, which means basically you're going to fall asleep on the couch. You're not going to want to get up and move. It's like you're locked onto the couch. So for some more very specific information, you can check out my website, whispersinthetrees.com, and look up all of the different articles I had for Marijuana Month on there. And feel free to email me with any questions. Contact me. I'm on different social media platforms. You can also just post a comment in Whispers in the Trees. So until next time, you guys take care, and I wish you well if you're in Canada. 17th is rolling up really quickly, only a couple days, so good luck. And if you are a medical marijuana patient, you want to get signed up now so that they will give you priority over recreational users. Okay, take care. Have a great week.